Welcome to the breakdown here, 2014 PSP Mid-Atlantic Open edition. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Steve Rabakoff and Todd Martinez. Man, this is the second event of the year, second stop on the PSP Tour. We're here in Chesapeake City at OXCC Paintball Park. Man, what a great event we have in front of us, boys. Lots of stories. That's the whole reason I love watching this sport. One, you know, the game of paintball is amazing and we all love it. But secondly, there's so many interesting narratives on all these teams. We had really interesting things happen at the first event. Los Angeles Infamous finally came out from the middle of the pack and were able to be triumphant and won the first event, and they beat Todd's team that he coaches, Omaha Vicious, who had the best performance they've ever had in their entire careers, taking second. And that was actually a good game. I think that game was closer than the score dictated. So, Todd, let's get your thoughts first. What do you feel about this event heading in? This is a big event for everybody.
Well, I can't wait to see what's going to happen just because the way that the bracket's laid out. I mean, I think there's not going to be a boring game this whole event. You're going to start off, you know, the first bracket in the morning is going to be Dynasty, Art Chaos, Infamous, Aftershock, and the Iron Men. I mean,
that's a murderer's row of teams.
Yeah,
Brad's laughing because it's
every single one of those teams. Yeah, every single one of those teams feels like they can win the event here. And then you look at the afternoon bracket with Vicious, Damage, Impact, 187, and X Factor.
The world champs.
So, I mean, both of these brackets, these might be the two strongest brackets that we've ever seen.
Well, that's what
there's no slouch games.
That's what I love about the sport right now. You are literally about to watch the best teams. It only happens 5 times a year. The best teams in the world, the best players on planet Earth that play this game are about to throw down. And you never know what's going to happen. I mean, now, yeah, we obviously Infamous had underperformed last season. 2013 was not their year, but they swore to us. I remember talking to them at the first event, and they were just like, look, we're tired of this. We picked up some firepower. We really like the Bornsteins. They got some guys back from injury.
Yeah, penalties.
Exactly. They cut the penalties down. Zach Wake had a triumphant performance in the finals. He was the MVP of the final match. He had 13 confirmed kills, just dominating out there. And Vicious, such a great story there, too. I mean, Todd, you know, I was there at a couple of those practices you guys had early on in the year, and now you're one of the favorites all of a sudden. You guys were getting stomped by the Ironman in the beginning, and you were screaming at the team. They were doing push-ups and wind sprints, but it doesn't matter because that's one of the cool things about this game. It doesn't matter what happens in practice. It's all about the tournament, and you guys are going to get to watch that, and I can't wait. And yeah, we have a couple Challengers games in the morning, Friday morning. First up, Chattanooga CEP and Moscow Red Legion to kick it off, start the tournament out, and then Sacramento Excessive and Seattle Thunder. Those two games are interesting matchups. First of all, CEP's been getting better year after year. You know, it's tough for them. They've struggled to try to get into the Champions Division, but Moscow Red Legion, man, they have not been playing well. What do you think about those Challengers Division matchups?
Well, I think with Moscow Red Legion, like you said, they just haven't played up to what we all expect from them. We're just used to these guys dominating year after year, and they've just lost too many players. And I think and Kirill's not even playing right now. He's still injured, so it's just not the Moscow Red Legion that we've all gotten used to over the years. But I won't doubt them still. I think they have the organization and the money and the coaching power to get them back eventually, Todd.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to find their identity. You know, in CEP, you know, they constantly are working at it. The Excessive Seattle Thunder game, I think that's going to be a really good game as well, just because both of those teams have come up short so many times and have gotten almost to that point, you know, playing on Sunday and just not making that final game and getting to get back up into the Champions League. So I know Excessive had very high hopes at the Dallas event. They got a bunch of new players, and then Seattle Thunder picking up some new players as well. So now that both of those teams have had time to gel with those new players, I think we're going to see two different teams in that matchup as well.
Yeah, and then the Champions League starts off with a bang. It's Art Chaos and San Diego Dynasty. San Diego Dynasty won this event last year. A little bit of a disappointing finish for them at the last event in Dallas as they took 4th, but it was a close 4th, man. I mean, they almost won or almost beat Infamous. I mean, it came down last-second heroics by Oliver Lang. Go back and watch that game on our YouTube channel. The end was ridiculously tense. Oliver hung the flag, but as he was literally diving through the air, you know, completely horizontal and laid out trying to get that win, time expired as he was in the air. So they didn't get the hang, and they did take 4th. But I think Dynasty's still a favorite here. And then Art Chaos has got to be a favorite too. So I mean, we couldn't ask for a better game to start the tournament out.
It's like you said, going through these games, and we were talking about this before we went on. Look at these games. We're starting out with Dynasty, Art Chaos, Los Angeles Infamous, Aftershock, Art Chaos, Los Angeles Ironman. It's just game after game, Dynasty against Aftershock. And Aftershock, they played great in Dallas. And how are they going to come on this field? That's what we're going to see on this layout. What are they going to do? Is this going to be a little bit slower for them, or do they have the patience and discipline? You guys just practiced them recently, so
Everybody says that this is a slow layout. It's going to be a slow layout. It's going to be a slow layout.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think that that's the way it's going to end up being. You know, it might be. It might be on Sunday, but I just feel like there's some either everybody's just not saying the truth,
right.
you know, or everybody's just expecting that the way that the field is laid out, it's just going to be impossible to make those wide moves on Sunday once everybody's dialed in. But I think there's some sneaky stuff you can do out here. And I just don't think anybody wants to let on.
You want to play your hand yet?
The general consensus oh, man, it's going to be a slow layout, bro.
We used this layout, the AXBL, when it came out, and I watched it that weekend, and then I watched it this last weekend with DC Devastation and Revo. And there is some sneaky stuff here. If teams are willing to do it, you can do some serious sneaky stuff here.
Well, speaking of the layout, the D side's pretty strong, and I've talked to some guys that are playing that side. They actually really like that side of the field. The Snake guys, we've had tons of aggressive layouts, and we've had layouts where guys are used to cannonballing down the Snake side. This is not a cannonball down the Snake side type of field. You're going to have to play a little more tackle over there. You really have to pick and choose your moves and earn each one of your bumps, which to me is always interesting. I think that this field is going to be a fascinating tactical battle to watch because a lot of guys are going to have to earn those bumps. So I think you're going to see smart players prevail in this field. I think that's why I think Dynasty could be one of the favorites. It's easy to pick Dynasty as one of the favorites. They did win this event last year. B's coming for you, Todd.
He tried to eat me.
Yeah. But guys like, say, Ryan Greenspan, guys like that, guys like Archie Montemayor, I really think that the smart twos, the guys that are able to play counterpunch paintball, when craziness starts happening on that D side, the bodies do start dropping when the points start getting close. That's why I'm really excited to watch this field.
Yeah, I mean, those three middle guys, the way that they shift their guns. The wide guys, if the wide guys are going to take chances to get out there, it's going to be risky. Guys that are good at running and shooting, it might help them. It might just be, something that you don't want to do and just try and get out to your spot alive. But, I mean, those middle guys are really going to have to decide, do I want to stay here, cross up, shoot a ton of paint, try and protect my guys, play that slow, smart game, or are we going to turn our guns straight ahead, go gunning, and just really try and blast this side, right away? But, when we're out here and it's the top players and everything's on the line and everybody's shooting that good paint, it's going to be another story. So
they're attacking us.
The killer bees are coming for us. Yeah. So, but I totally agree. That's why we shoot paintballs at each other. We know who knows, man. And a lot of people, you see the field develop as the layout plays, as the weekend progresses, as these teams start to really master the plays that they have in their repertoire. That's when things are going to start to get crazy. So let's talk about the afternoon bracket a little bit on Friday here. Infamous Ironman to start out the afternoon bracket, and then the world champ San Antonio X Factor going to be playing Upton 187 crew. Upton 187 crew, I think their attack is much more diverse. Matthew Derula, I think, was a big pickup for them. Nick Roberts, Eddie Painter has just that kid gets better and better and better. He looks so polished out there, and that's the type of guy that's going to potentially have a big tournament on this field. And also can't forget about Max Trailer, and then also Dan Zaleski. So that's the thing I like about 187 now. They got a great attitude about the way they play this game. They understand that the road is long in the pro division and that you're not just going to come out and start stomping teeth in right away. But they've been taking their lumps, they've been taking it like men, and they're just getting better and better and better. So I think
they got a great attitude.
Absolutely.
But I think that because they've gone down that road now, they've realized that they don't have to have their foot on the gas the whole way. Those guys, we saw them play a little bit of a control game. When they first came into the league, they were just all-out attack all the time. I think they've realized that, how to play smarter now that they've seen this competition,
right.
Now that they've been in the league for a while. When they were playing Art Chaos there in the finals in Dallas, they weren't running around acting crazy, and that was a run around, act crazy, and go murder people field. Everything, like, we were in their pits getting ready to play after them, and, those guys are really calm and understand everything that's going on. And, that was like another side to see of those guys that really bodes well for them in the future. Well,
another game, and we had just mentioned it real quick, but I really want to see this game, is I want to see Infamous play the Ironman. Why? Well, the Ironman is another one of those interesting stories. San Jose Royalty had a pretty cool year last year. They didn't really win much and didn't, move up into the Champions League like they really wanted to, but they did come close. But they took the best players from that team, merged with the Los Angeles Ironmen, who also consolidated, and now they have this, awesome, young, hungry team, and they've been grinding with the best of them. And that's what I really want to see. I want to see, the Ironman legendary squad, been around for a long time, longest running, them, Shock, some of the longest running teams in existence on Earth. And the Ironmen now with this new identity, now this is their second event in with Shane Pestana as the leader again. And Shane Pestana has never touched the Ironman organization and not come away with the World Championship, ever, not one time, through 3 different eras of the team. When he first came up in the early to mid 90s, he was one of the best players, if not the best player on earth, and they won championships in the foundation years of the game. And then around 2000. When me and Todd actually played on the team, you were on the Ironman for a while. You played with Shane, and they won the championship then again as well. And then when he came back around in the mid 2000s, same thing. So now Shane's back, and he's the best leader in the game. So the Ironman definitely got a shot, but can they do it here? Can they do it this early in the stage of that team? I don't know. Infamous, and they start out against Infamous, who looked amazing at the first event.
Yeah, it's like every game in that bracket is going to be crazy.
I just keep looking at the lineup here, and it just, like you say in the afternoon, so we got X Factor up to 187 crew, and then Omaha Vicious starts the day off with Tampa Bay Damage.
Yeah.
And yes, Tampa Bay Damage were close to going down at the last event, but like you said, this is a new event, new layout, new practices, and hey, there's your start of the day. Omaha Vicious, Tampa Bay Damage, Todd.
Well, and Tampa Bay had the worst event they've had in years at the first event. Almost got relegated. It came down to some last-minute heroics by Jason Edwards, putting up a 5-pack to finish off that game. Remember that game? How crazy that game was? So Jason Edwards stepped at the very end, won a squeaker against Houston Heat, who actually has to play down in the Challengers division, which is a shocker. But regardless, now you're gonna. So Todd, Vicious, after the best performance ever, taking second, you guys are gonna have to play your first game against Tampa Bay Damage, who this is their field. This is the type of field layout they love. So I mean, what is your guys' mentality going on right now?
Yeah, and in the beginning of the season too, we were talking about those Ironman practices. We started off before we went to Ironman, down to Damage, who gets nice weather all the time in Florida, and took some lumpings from them too. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like the way that when I was with Infamous, it's kind of like that the way that we were against them. You play them a lot, they beat you a lot. And they have the confidence they can go out there and stomp you anytime they want. But it only takes one time to turn the tables on somebody, and first game of the event, or not of the event, but first game of our bracket, against Damage, it's a good time to catch somebody sleeping. So, I mean, our guys, those beatings that we took in the beginning of the year, coming back and doing well in Dallas, I just got to say that confidence is very high in our team right now.
It should be.
Guys
absolutely.
are feeling great.
They should be, like you said. They just came off of their best ever performance. So
yeah, we've been putting in the work at practice. The camaraderie's going really well in the team. We're coming here with 8 guys. Chris Hooker, he hurt his back at the last practice again. Finally went to the doctor, got it checked out. It's got a herniated disc. He didn't even make a flight. Can't even walk. He's at home right now laid up. So, I mean, we got 8 solid guys. We just picked up Nate Schrader
I think that's a big pickup
solidify
for you guys.
our Dorito side. Alex Borromeo, our pickup last event. I thought he played really well for us. He's comfortable. And, I think we got a good roster. Guys are confident. And, we're here to play hard. So
Parker Rosenthal and Zach Sherman played out of their minds at that first event. I was so impressed with them. I've been watching them play for years now. And to see them elevate their level of game, totally break out of the shell that they had existed, and they were always good, but they played great at that event. They're doing whatever it took out there.
And expect that again this event. Those 2 guys are the rocks right now. Those are the 2 guys that are leading this team. They both played really well in practice, and those are the 2 guys that we need to step up and be leaders. Because this is their team.
Well, they were making crisp moves, great timing from the 2 of them, but this is a gunfighter's field. Make no joke about it. This is a gunfighter's field. So guys like Dave Baines, guys like Zach Sherman. Guys that are really good at the gunfight. Yosh Rao, he could have a really big event for Dynasty. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. I love watching the gunfight. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love paintball. When people used to ask me, why do you still play it after all the years you did? And I was like, I just love the gunfight. I love getting locked into a gunfight and seeing if I'm better than that man on that day, because that to me is that was one of the elements of the game that I love the most. And we're gonna get to see a lot of awesome gunfights out there this weekend.
And I think, as you were saying about this layout, we're going to see a lot of these guys. We're going to have these 3-on-3s and 3-on-2s, and we're going to see which guys are on those fields at the time, and we're going to see what they're going to do, because this is a skill field as well. When it gets into those 3-on-3s, 2-on-2s, 3-on-1, I've seen some 3-on-1s here that we're just like, how are they doing it? And on this field, you can do that.
You're going to see some good. Definitely some 2-on-2, maybe some low body situations. We haven't really seen, we've had hyper aggressive field layouts. This field layout can be played aggressive. We'll see, how things develop as the tournament progresses. But, there could be some of those come from behind low body victories, where you see a guy pull off a 1-on-3, or you see, 2-on-4s. And also a big thing we haven't mentioned yet that's going to be huge on this field is communication. there's no coaching. You can scream from the stands. You can't stop the fans from screaming. That's fine. But at the same time, you can't coach from the sidelines anymore. It's a new rule this year. You can't coach from the pits as of like 2 years ago. So what that means now is that the smart players, the guys that have developed that crucial element of the game, are really going to prevail on a field like this. So let's talk about Saturday before we have to sign off here. Saturday, I'm stoked on Saturday too. I really want to see, one of my favorite teams to watch right now is Chicago Aftershock. I love the hunger on that team. I love watching them play. They are starting to cultivate a little bit more diverse attack. Before, past couple seasons, as when Shock got decimated and all those players went to Houston Heat, and Shock's been around for 20 years, and they basically said, hey, look, they picked up a bunch of divisional players, and slowly but surely, Mikey Bruno and the rest of the crew over there has been cultivating that team, and they got Carl Markowski. Love watching Carl play, such a spark plug. And so they have to play Art Chaos in the first game on Saturday. So that's, it's all about this whole thing is a test. That's why you play paintball. You play it for a test. So, and that's why Shock continues to do what they do, and why those young guys have fought so hard for the Aftershock Blue and that legacy is they want to see that name back at the top. And I'm slowly starting to see it seep in. Didn't have a good practice against you guys, Todd, but they didn't have a good practice against Infamous at the last event either. So they got to play Art Chaos to start the day out, 8:15. All these times are Eastern time here in the States. And then Dynasty plays the Ironman, good old SoCal matchup right there. And then Infamous, Art Chaos, Ironman, Shock, and Infamous Dynasty for the morning's competition. What do you guys think about those games?
Going into those games, we're looking at there's going to be some guys that are 0-2 on Friday and 1-1. And these games right here put you into that bracket where you're in that uh-oh bracket. And with these lineups, man, I'm just cautious. I can't even speak right now.
These are finals matchups.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm looking at all these.
Dynasty, Dynasty Ironman,
Art Chaos, like LA Infamous.
Art Chaos. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we got 3 guys on that team. Actually, 4 guys if you include Bierdnikov, that are just used to playing in finals and winning championships. Guys that were on Heat last year. I mean, Art Chaos Infamous. Art Chaos Aftershock. I mean, these are finals games.
Edmonton Impact, Omaha Vicious, Impact X Factor, Damage, X Factors. Like, there's just crazy matchups here.
I think that Aftershock is the only team that doesn't have a guy with finals experience. Actually, I mean, if Chris Sosine has that finals experience.
Carl's won tournaments.
Carl's got finals experience.
When he played with Excessive, and he played on Infamous for a while, too.
But all these teams are winners. All these teams have won tournaments. All these teams have been in the finals. Have tons of finals experience.
That's the magic
of the players.
That's the magic of the PSP, man. That's why this is interesting to watch. Best players in the world, no joke, man. That's just the way it is, and that's why I can't wait to see what happens. And then also we have Boom taking on Red Storm. Red Storm coming out of Russia. They got a lot of ballers on that team too. VCK did awesome at the first event.
Few points from getting into the pro division.
Yeah, they were close. They played in a semifinal game. Top Gun, they've been in the Champions Division before. They still have some great players on that team. And the 2 teams that we all love and deserve to be recognized, but also have great stories. So is X Factor, the world champs, and X Factor, man, how many come from behind victories do they have? I think they had 3 massive deficit come from behind victories. 6-1, 6-0s that they came back and won. I love their new mentality, their newfound like every point 0-0 mentality. Doesn't matter, we got penalties, who cares? That's really paid dividends for them. And so and they got beat by you guys in the semifinals of the last event, but they almost came back in that game too. So X Factor, they're going to be taking on Vicious again. That's to end the Saturday too. So that could decide. We could have a rematch, from the semifinals to dictate who goes on or who doesn't. So that's going to be. I just love it, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow. And then with Impact, Impact, they went a different route. They, instead of picking up a bunch of seasoned pros, they went after guys like Danny Park, Nick Laval. Rainey Stanzik is a seasoned pro for sure, but they have some of the best killers, best aggressive players on the team, or I'm sorry, in the league, in the 2 Justins, Justin Cornell and Justin Ravikoff, your son. And those are 2 front players that can play they can play a calm, methodical game. They can turn it up when they need to. They have great timing, and they have one of the best back players ever, Dave Baines. Dave Baines, I think, and this is not a bold claim at all, but on a layout like this, where Dave finally has a little bit of room to work, I think Dave could have a huge tournament. So, man, the stage is set. It's going to be a ridiculous weekend. Tell all your friends, spread the word. And again, help us spread the paintball gospel. That's the whole reason PBA is here, is so we can sit here and talk about the best in the world and watch them play, learn from them, be entertained. So, and thank you for all you guys out there supporting. We really appreciate all of your efforts. And you know, again, that's what we're here for. So we can be entertained by the best, and we need you guys to help out. So thank you guys for tuning in to the breakdown. Man, it's going to be a great weekend here. Second event on the PSP Tour 2014 Mid-Atlantic Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Steve Rabikoff, Todd Martinez. Special shout out to all of our sponsors, and we'll see you guys, man. It's going to be crazy. Stick around.